Alright, we on. Shalom. Yes. Back out here on another day, another Saturday. To be praised to Yahawashi.
By Yahawashi.
By Hasham, Rakak, Badash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. Sanitation to all the sincere up to yeah, man. So we're going to appreciate Proverbs 27 and 17.
I got that. Proverbs 27 and 17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
Yeah. Iron sharpeneth iron, man. So we're going to sharpen up the sword today, you know?
That's right, brother.
It up, man. Yeah. So, Proverbs 27 and 17, let me read it. It says, yeah, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend, man. You know, we do this, continue to do this work.
Come on.
We're sharpening our sword, man. Lord willing, we can pick up the momentum now. We're coming near to the closer and closer to the end of this marathon that has been pushed via the elders, you know, via their elders. It's a marathon, and we want to be able to pick up the momentum, carry that baton, continue to carry that baton. As when you see those races, what do you call it? You got the marathon, and then you got the anyway, you know what I'm saying.
I know.
The race where they continue to take the baton. They have to take the baton. Yeah, the 4x4 relay. That's it. 4x4 relay. So we got the baton, man. Lord willing, you know, we continue to hold that baton and don't fumble it. You know, sometimes they drop the baton, innit? Sometimes, you know, and they when they drop the baton, which some of the brothers, some so-called, who were once with us, started nicely, and they went off. They fumbled the baton, and they let us down, man. When you fumble the baton for the 4x4 relay race, you don't just let yourself down.
That's right.
You let the team down.
Yep.
And you know, I think it happened once to the American team. You know, I used to watch all that. You know, when it was before all this COVID shutdown and all this. It happened to the British team, and they take the blame. It's almost like if you let in a goal, isn't it? In football, for those men that are into the football.
Come on.
You actually then you fumble the ball and it goes in, and you see they put their face in their head.
Yeah. Yep.
They feel bad, man. You know? They have to take, and the team always says, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. But
you are going to worry about it, let's be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be on your mind, man.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to feel bad about it. So look, that's what I'm saying, man. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. So we're doing this work, I'm doing this work, the brothers are doing this work, we're all sharpening each other. And the videos what we're pushing out, you know, I watch that brother's videos, that brother edifies me, puts a spirit into me, puts some fire into me, you know, according to the spirit that you might have. I like to watch some of them fiery videos according to the mood that I'm in. Sometimes you need to watch a fiery video to get you know, I watched the Apostles, you know, every Saturday I watch the Apostles, you know, when they go in, you know. So, iron sharpening iron. Let me get to another precept. This one's in
read it for you if you want it. I'll read it for you.
And if I could just say a few words too, and this is why according to Hebrews 3 verse 13, it says what it says: exalt one another, continue daily. And that's what's building the church up, man, because we all feed off each other. So if every brother can do a video every day, it works on the brother that does this video, and it also helps the other Akim too. So either way, you're staying in the spirit that you need to stay in, you know.
Sirach 6, go to Sirach 6. I want to bring out some of the verses because I remember Elder Dawada brought out some of the verses.
Come on.
You know, some of them, there was a lot of meat. So bring out some of these verses. Here it is. 14. Sirach 6 and 14.
Alright, this is Sirach 6. Sirach and Ecclesiastes, it's the same book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus 6 and 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such and one have found a treasure.
Right, stop there. Yeah, a faithful friend is a strong defense. Yeah? When you think of a defense, think of like maybe the soldier, the Roman army. You know, I'm always thinking about combat and he was talking about it, you know. I just saw that fight, Lomachenko and
Oh yeah, can't.
Teofimo Lopez, man.
Can't.
And he was an underdog, which some of the time it's good when you see a little underdog get a little squeeze, isn't it? A little underdog come up. He's only had about 16 fights, undefeated, but he was looked at as the underdog. And Lomo, maybe Lomachenko, he underestimated what his intelligence, his boxing IQ, his ring IQ. And maybe the power too. When he was in there, he felt the power, so he said, okay. Some people are saying maybe he felt the power early in the fight, and he said, okay, I'm going to use my arm. He's very known for his skill. Lomachenko is known for his skill. And he usually gets his opponents, he usually reads his opponents around a couple of rounds, earlier in 3 rounds, 4 rounds, and maybe he picks up momentum later on in the fight. But because he underestimated Teofimo Lopez, his strength towards the end of the fight, he kept his strength. He didn't fall to pieces like a lot of his opponents, like Luke Campbell kind of fell to pieces. And Corolla, he was the fight that he fought before Luke Campbell. He fell to pieces towards the end. So we're on the subject of endurance and strength. It says, a faithful friend is a strong defense. And he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure. It's like that. He that found such one. So yes, man, we want to be strong defenses for each other. Like brothers them say about doing the videos, keeping up doing the videos, coming to the end now, picking up momentum. And
that goes into as well, because when you have a camp of men, let's say for example, the leader, to be exact, if the leader is not on point and the leader's weak, then that messes up the whole spirit of the camp, and then the spirit of the camp becomes weak.
That's the spirit, because the scripture says, so is the leader, so is his people, so
exactly.
is the king.
Yeah, so, when the apostles give an order, it's not to get us, distorted, in the spirit, but it's for us to pick up the pace, like you said, pick up the momentum, because we're all brothers. Like the word friend means brother. When you look up the word. That's all I want to say, brother.
This is verse 15. Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend.
Yeah.
And his excellency is invaluable.
Right, man. Yeah. Sit there. Yeah. A faithful friend, man. We do it for each other to strengthen one another. We looked at the one in Proverbs. We looked at. We don't have to go back here. 27 and 17. Iron sharpens iron.
There you go.
So that's what we're doing, man, and that's why we continue to do this, man. Got another piece. If you jump down to talking about that fight, so we underestimated Teofimo Lopez, underestimated or overestimated himself and underestimated his opponent, man. But his opponent kept it together. He didn't fall to pieces. And the time when Lomo usually comes on strong, maybe in the 12th round. He must have said, right, I can see Lomo's Lomo's picking up the pace, so I've got to pick up the pace. And he picked up the pace and he stood his ground, and he knew he won at the end. He knew that he was going to get his hand raised, even though he was an underdog, and even though he gave credit to Lomo, because he knows that Lomo is not no pushover for his skill and his strength. But he stood withstood the test of time, and he stood his ground, and he listened to his pops. The counselor. That's why we're going to jump down now. Okay. To in the same verses, same chapter. 16. Alright, yeah, 2:16. Yeah.
It's Ecclesiastes 5 and 16. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. And they that fear the Lord Yahawashi shall find him.
Yeah. Medicine, man. I think about the herbs, man. I can't get away from the herbs. I can't get away from it. I'm thinking about the herbs. When I think about medicine, I don't think about the pharmaceutical people. I think about the herbs.
That's all right, brother. That's all right.
Original herbs, man. And there was some woman. Now we're talking about this, who died from taking. She was tested over in Brazil.
I know this. Come on.
she died, what they're saying is, a matter of fact, I want to read a little bit for someone. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, Brazilian volunteer in Oxford University. She was tested and she died. So they're saying she didn't die from the actual vaccine. It was a placebo they gave her. But obviously, you know, it wasn't no placebo. You don't die from, you know, something that's like salt or sugar. You die from something that it was it affected her body. It killed her, man. You know.
Yep.
Allergic reaction, man. So, you know, that's why we don't have our faith in these pharmaceutical companies, or they're talking about everybody we're going to be vaccinated and test with this COVID-19. We know it's a farce. There's probably more people that have died, you know, by being tested outrightly. So, right, medicine. Yeah, so we're taking our medicine. We're doing this work. We're taking our medicine. This is spiritual medicine, man.
Daily medicine.
You know? Sharp. And I think about, you know, I meditate there all the time. And when you put in the spiritual context, a man that's a soldier, he has to keep his sword sharp. You know? And if there's a gun, you've got to keep the whistle clean, you know? Keep it clean and make sure the whistle's clean and make sure that it's all oiled up. So we do that in the spiritual sense. We keep our whistles clean, our guns clean, the swords. The sword is the Bible. We sharpen it out, man.
Yep.
This is Revelations 1 and 16. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword. And his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength.
Right, man. Yeah, Yahawashi when he comes back. He don't play. He ain't gonna be played. He's got his sword, double-edged sword, which is the word. So when you read scriptures like that, it makes me say, boy, when I get home later, I'll make sure I keep it sharp, man. You know, for the following week. You know.
Hey, that's the spirit, because as you can see, this is ripping up. And it took me some time to get used to this. Why? Because it's a sword. With a sword, you don't just get used to it straight away. Right. It takes time. So that's spiritual, what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, we can carry on reading actually. Jump down to 18 in the same verse. I like when he was bringing it out the water last week.
This is Ecclesiasticus 5 and 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up. So shall thou find wisdom to thy old age.
Yeah, stop there. Gather instruction from our youth up. If you're 5 years in the truth like myself, you're 5 years old, man, you know? Right? Yeah. So you're gathering, well, a little bit less than that, you know, around about. We're gathering instruction, man, from our youth up, you know? Just born, spiritually we're just born, you know? So we're gathering instruction, and it says, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. As we're growing up, you know, continuing this truth, growing wisdom. Not falling by the wayside, like some have, which sometimes in marathon runs they have pacemakers. And they play their role, you know, if you heard about the pacemakers, they set at this, they're there to play their role, to set everybody to pick up the pace. And then they got a certain post where they say, well, after you reach a certain post, you fall out, you drop out. But the pace is picked up. So they played their role, you know. Kudos for the pacemakers, and they're playing their lot. But we ain't, Lord willing, we're not pacemakers. Lord willing, we're in there for the long haul.
That's right.
You know, to finish off the race, not to fall by the wayside. So find wisdom till thine old age, man, until the Yahawashi come back. And that's when I want to really, that's when I want to get busy. You know, I always think about it, like meditating that terror when Yahawashi come back. You know, that's why we're sharpening our swords now. You know?
Come on.
Right, let's jump down to 22.
This is verse 22. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many.
Yes, yeah, the elder brought that out, I think, last week. That resonated with me. You know, we've been called, Lord willing, we're going to be chosen. It says there what? Read it again.
For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many.
Wisdom is according to her name, Sophia, and she is not manifest unto many. She's manifest to us though. Lord willing, we're going to be chosen, but she's not manifest to many, like as the elders usually brought out, Elder Ma'at and Prophet, Elder Dawada. People just walk past, man. They see us in our garments, so-called robes, our garments, with our, our attire. They don't look at us as anything, man. Maybe just like we're entertainers or some form, some form of entertainment. Sometimes they come in and stop with it. Wisdom is according to her name. So how do we feel about that, man? How do I feel about that? Read it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and 22. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many.
Right. See, I've got to breathe and take my time here. I'm always trying. I've got to tell myself to slow down because sometimes if your mind racing,
overthinking,
you think, and people who stop.
Like this one guy on YouTube, diving deep waters. Infinity.
People who like Floyd Mayweather, he speaks fast. He's got a fast mind, and if you've got a stammer, for example, people who stammer is usually because their brain is working, thinking ahead too fast, or going ahead of their mouth. So I've got to tell because I've got a bit of a stammer myself. I had it when I was younger. I kind of fluid when I'm growing out of it. You've got to keep reminding yourself to slow down, be in time and in tune with what you're doing, be in the moment.
Yeah, be in the present.
In the present, in the moment. Take your time, dive in deep waters, take your time, breathe.
This is Isaiah 28 and 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Right. Yeah. See, Moses is a stammerer. So we're not. For those of us that slow of mouth, you just have to learn to take your time. We've got good examples. Moses built up his Yahawashi, or Yahawah built up his character. At first, he allowed his brother,
Aaron
to speak. But as time went on, and he started to build up his character, he saw the Most High was dealing with him. Over time, he started to learn to speak. No doubt he learned how to pronounce his words, better, take his time, believe in himself, because that's got a lot to do with it too. Lack of confidence in yourself, low self-esteem. You start to take your time, breathe, believe in the word, believing that you have the ability and the Most High is using you, and builds up your character.
And what Moses meant when he said he couldn't speak because he was only well known in the Egyptian tongue because he grew up with the Egyptians. So he was adopted, and he spent most of his life under the Egyptian, family construct and learned their language instead. But he didn't know too much about the Hebrew because he wasn't surrounded by the Hebrews, you see. So that's what he meant. And that's why Aaron was his right-hand man to, give the interpretation as to what he was saying, So
yeah, when you wake up to this truth, I can relate to that. It's not our first language, man, this truth. That's why we have to heed, as I'm going to bring it out, we have to heed to the elders. We go down to 23,
Verse 23. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what Moses had to do. He had to take heed, not believe in himself. That's why he ran away. He killed one of the Egyptians because they was persecuting one of the Hebrews. He knew his sense of justice kicked him. He slayed him and he buried him.
Yeah.
But that was a presumptuous move. He was still righteous, and the Most High never hold it against him. But he ran ahead of himself. He believed in himself, but he didn't have the knowledge of the Most High. So when he learned to slow down and wait on the Most High and learn balance, when he was on Mount Sinai, the Most High was watching him all the time when he was a farmer. He was learning combat. He was learning how to keep, maturity. The Most High called him and said, I've got some. Now you're ready. I've got some work for you. Read that again.
Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel.
So he was ready, man. He took the advice, and he said, went back to Pharaoh and said, let my people go. He knew, because at first he didn't, you know, it was kind of, oh, I can't talk, man, no, I can't do it, man. You let someone else do it, you know. Some of us, this is not our first language. We may have felt like that, you know. And which is from the Most High too, because of the thin line between overconfidence and to be a shrinking violet. You have to try and find the balance. So the Most High, if you got that extreme to that end, the Most High have to build you up, but you still have to have your faith. You still have to build up your faith and trust that the Most High is with you. You know?
That's right.
Let's jump down. He's on 23. There's so much meat here. Let's jump down to
34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise.
Yes. Stand in the multitude of the elders. In other words, like we just looked at 23. Same thing. Saying to take heed to counsel. The man that's done it before you, you know, even in boxing, you know, usually the trainer, as in with the case of the elite boxers, I can relate to like Laman Chinka, his father, Papa Chinka, the one who he just lost to, Tifimo Lopez, his father was a trainer, he's a trainer. And at the end of the fight, you know, boxers that have that kind of swag about him. At the end of the fight, he went over to the crowd and said, I'm the best trainer in the world. I'm the best trainer in the world. Yeah, Tifimo's father. You know, the point is, he understood, you know, even though they sometimes children rebel against their parents when they get older, don't they? You know, but in boxing, ones that listen to their parents, they do well, they succeed. So he had the sense, even in the time of puberty, to stay and still listen to his father. As it says there, read it again.
Verse 30. Where was that? Verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise.
Yeah, he showed himself to be wise. He backed it up. He listened to his father, and he was able to get the victory. And his father was an unsung hero. No real credibility, no real, you know, because it's not like you get medals for being a good trainer. But it's in the proof is in the pudding, man. And I like when he went up and he says, I'm the best trainer, I'm the best trainer now. Because a lot of the time, when you ain't got no credibility, you're an underdog. You don't get no respect. You understand what I'm saying? That they pay you, they have to see results. If you're a boxer, you can't be number two, as sometimes they ought to bring that. You can't be number two. You can't be number three in sports. You want the gold medal, man.
That's right.
You want to be number one. Yep. Nobody remembers you if you're number two. The bronze, you know. Yeah. When was that?
Deontay Wilder. Well, he's remembered, you know.
Well, you know.
He's a bronze, bronze Olympics, I believe.
You know.
But you know, though, maybe he shouldn't have never said he's a bronzer, because now that's why he lost. Yeah.
You know. But the principle is that people want to be on top. They want to be number one. Who are now being pulled, who will be chosen. I don't want to be pulled by the wayside. I don't want to be no pacemaker. I want to finish. You understand what I'm saying? How do you do it? Read it again, and then we're going to carry on reading.
This is verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise.
Because why do we cleave unto them? Because they're wise, isn't it? Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. You understand? So that's why we study them, we watch them, man. I watch trainers, I watch Floyd Mayweather, his father, I watch all that, I watch the relationship too.
Because you may even say, well, I've learned quite a bit, from these wise men, so therefore I don't need to follow them anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people have that kind of attitude. Yeah. They start feeling like, they're above and beyond, rather than just, as it says, cleave unto the elders, because you can't go wrong with that. That's Satan, man.
You know what? When Satan's mad, that makes me even madder. That's a good thing.
It gets you more pumped up.
Yes, right. Yeah. So I'll read this one in 30, it says in 35, it says, be willing to hear every godly discourse and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. Yeah, as you were saying, Elder,
Go on.
they become big-headed. I think one of the elders was saying that sometimes you can become big-headed, and you know the ones what happened over there with the tried and refined.
Yeah.
You start to believe that you know a bit, you know.
Yeah, he got big-headed. Yeah.
More, and start to become presumptuous.
Yeah.
But it says there be with. Yeah, back on
Again, this is verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee.
right.
Man, you can ask questions. You can ask I mean, in the world they say that there's no such thing as a stupid question, but within reason, you know, within reason, there is such thing as a stupid. When I was taking a lot of my courses for security guard and getting my license for stuff, they say you can, you know, ask questions. No such thing as a stupid question. But they believe that they're talking to someone who's, you know, who's a balanced person. So you ask questions, man, sensible questions, and wait for the answers, man. You know, that person that was around, you know, ask questions. There's nothing wrong with that. But just wait for the answer. And if it's not satisfactory, you can't see it. Like Moses, he realized when he was at a mature state, he had to just wait, man. You know, this thing is about waiting, and that's faith, isn't it? It takes faith to do that.
I was on 35.
Yeah, you can.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
If you see a man with understanding, read that again, Baba Shah.
And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Yeah, I could make you a millionaire, yeah? A man, he's got the money, he's got the goods, he's got the nice car, he's got the house, right? Proof is in the pudding, and he's saying, I could make... And he's saying, yeah, I can make you a millionaire. Most people ain't gonna disrespect that guy.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking from a carnal perspective, but the principle is the same. Because he's got the you know, the proof is in the pudding. And he's saying, I want to help you to do that. But this is even above that still. When you read it again and then go to it.
And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Yeah, man. Get with the program, man. Get to the classroom. The man's telling you the things that you need to do to make, you know, and you take that, you listen. I remember I had to do that. Most of us have to do it if you want to get your driving license, if you want to get your security guard license, any kind of license. Now you got to go to classes, the practical theory and the theory. It means you got to listen and be attentive, man. You know, and that's your teacher. He's telling you, he's been there, he's done that, he got the t-shirt. Why would you disrupt the classroom? Innit? Yeah. Many people do that.
Disruptive youths, yeah, just because they couldn't get it, they're putting the rest off. Yeah.
You know? So 36.
And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Woo! Follow his footsteps, man. We've got the one in Yahawashi, the ultimate J. Ultimate J. You know the one there in let me see if I can find it.
And it's funny that you made mention of Yahawashi, right? Because like I was saying before, you may learn quite a bit from the elders that are wise. And then you might wind up doing your own thing later on down the line. But what did Yahawashi do? Yahawashi kept in contact spiritually with his father and physically. So it's the same thing with us, our spiritual fathers. The best thing to do is to stay in contact with them also. Because ultimately we become a team. Alright? And when you have a team of brethren that are doing the same thing right along with the elders, it makes more of an impact of that particular thing that you do. Alright? And that's why this Israelite thing is blowing the hell up, because it's we've all come together and spewed out that same vibration, okay? But with more of a greater impact because there's many of us that are together doing the same thing. You see, that's all I wanted to say, brother. This is the thought that came to my mind.
Full of the Most High gets closer. All right, we can get this one. 1 Peter and 4 and 6. 1 Peter 5 and 5. 1 Peter 5 and 5. I'll read it while you get it. It's still a little bit there. I'll just start with that. I'll start with 5.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. 1 Peter 5 and 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yet all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For the Most High.
Stop there. Be clothed with humility. Yeah? Submit ourselves. We spoke about going to classroom and listening, you know, to the wise counsel. Yeah, carry on.
And be clothed with humility. For the Most High resisteth the proud.
That's right.
And giveth grace to the humble.
So he gives grace to them. He resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. You know, sometimes you may just have to just humble yourself. And if you don't get it straight away, sincere questions. Nothing wrong with sincere questions. In the world they say no such thing as a stupid question. You know, but that's between you. You know, that's within your reasoning. You know, but if you want to sincere, you ask sincere questions and wait for the sincere answers to the questions, man. So that takes, and if you don't get it straight away, it might just mean that you might just have to be humble and patient if you don't understand it straight away. You know, and wait on the Most High. Because God resists the proud, but He gives us grace
to the humble.
You mentioned about Moses, man. Yep. Moses has a lot of ups and downs, but in the end, he did finish the race. Yep. You know, he got very, very close until he didn't give glory to the Most High when he opened the rock, and you know, said take the water to drink. But he's going to be back in the kingdom. You know, Most High said he ain't going to be able to be into the land of money.
Yeah, because he didn't do one thing.
Yeah. Yep. So that humility, we learn from we learn from our elders, man. We learn from our prophets, our forefathers. So we learn. You understand?
But even though he didn't make it to the kingdom, which was going to be established, but the Lord kept his position.
Yeah.
You see? It was just an example. That we must do exactly what Heavenly Father tells us to do. You know?
Yeah, 6.
Verse 6. Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exhort you in due time.
Yeah, and these things about patience, finishing the race. A marathon's not a sprint. Probably mentioned one of the young lions, Yahawah mentioned that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's very tempting because I was into the athletes and that quite good when I was younger. It's very tempting to be in a marathon. It's very tempting to go off because, you know, because it's not like a sprint. So it's very tempting to just be in the front of the race. And some people are good front runners. That's okay. If you know you're a good front runner, you can do that by all means. But it's always good to stay with the group. You understand what I'm saying? Stay with the group and bide your time. Make sure you've got enough energy reserve.